When you hear the word innovation, what comes to mind? Innovation just simply means something new. So as I drive around town, I see a lot of fast food restaurants that now have this new Frappuccino drink. Is that innovation? Or maybe innovation makes you think of Henry Ford or Steve Jobs or the Wright brothers. I mean, that feels like innovation. They were able to change the way we live our lives in a profound way. But it's also very personal, as they were able to change the way I live my life. In a recent survey, 84% of executives said innovation is critical to the success of their business, but only 6% were satisfied with their performance. It almost feels like we don't know what the word means, or maybe it's that we're not delivering it fast enough. I love talking to startups and hearing about their stories and their dreams and their ideas that they have. They have big ideas that can really disrupt some of the biggest companies. How fast would it take for a startup to jump into your scene and disrupt your business? Over the last 15 years, I've been working with companies, and there's two things I want to share with you today. One is companies operate on multiple levels of innovation, and then also the best products are really designed around their users. Whatever happened to Blockbuster Video? They were so focused on growing their revenue that they totally missed out how their customers wanted to experience watching movies at their home. They exploited their customers through late fees. In fact, Reed Hastings, a customer, once racked up $40 in late fees for an Apollo 13 movie. That was a tipping point for Blockbuster, as he later went on to start a company that we all know of as Netflix. So he saw an opportunity, he solved a problem for a customer, and he was willing to do something about it. When it comes to the future, there's three types of companies. There's those that let it happen, those who make it happen, and those who wondered what just happened. So we're going to talk about how to make it happen, and I'm going to talk through it, 4 levels of innovation through what I call the innovation wheel. And while we're talking through these 4 levels, I want you to think about a project that you may be working on right now. And maybe you can see where your project falls on the innovation wheel. So the first level is reactive. This is when a company is forced to make a change to stay competitive and stay in the game. The next one is incremental. This is when a company makes an improvement upon something that already exists. The next one is transformative. This is when a company makes something so unique in the marketplace that it forces the competition to follow. And the last one is pioneering. This is when a company delivers something that births a new industry, that the product changes the ecosystem of how it's supported and lives on. Companies in the reactive and incremental are really just sustaining their business. A good example of incremental is the automotive industry, where year over year, there's not that much difference between last year's model and this year's model. When Apple launched their iPhone, it was transformative. In fact, their competitors, Nokia, BlackBerry, and Android, all had to respond. Nokia thought, everybody loves our phones, you can talk and text, we'll be okay. BlackBerry thought, only professionals want smartphones. Consumers don't want smartphones. We'll be okay. Android was months away from releasing their product when they stopped and they scrapped it and they started over. Why did they do that? They did that because the iPhone connected with their customers in a way that the customers wanted to connect with their phone. Regardless of where you launch a product on the innovation wheel, over time, it's going to fall as a commodity until a certain point you just compete on price. So right now, the iPhone launched as transformative, and now it's just kind of cycling in the incremental. Do you remember that quote that we talked about earlier with the executives not satisfied with their level of innovation? I wonder if they were expecting transformative, and really they were getting reactive or incremental. Do you remember your project that we talked about a little while ago? Do you see where your project may fall on the innovation wheel? Now that we talked about different levels of innovation, we're going to talk about how to really design around your user. And I'm going to talk through three things real quick. The first one is really understand your customers' problems. Go listen to them. Go observe how they use your products. Have empathy for them. Don't try to sell them anything. Just be there to listen to them and learn from them. The next thing is, what's the goal? If we solve that problem, what's the outcome that that's going to achieve? How do we look through the eyes of our customers how to solve this problem? And then the last thing is, how do we generate concepts? A lot of concepts. And how do we look at the innovation wheel to make sure that we're pushing our level of thinking at all levels? We're going to spend a couple minutes and we're going to go back to that Blockbuster, Netflix, and just run through this example together. So what was the problem? The problem is I had to get in my car, I had to go to the store. When I got to the store, they had to have the movie I wanted in stock. When I was done watching the movie, I had to return it and hopefully get there before I received any late fees. I'm sure you can think of more problems that could exist. What's the goal? What if we just say, I want to create convenience and flexibility for my customers to watch movies at home without a fear of a late fee? Now, what are some concepts that we have? Maybe we say we can create our own store and get rid of late fees. Or maybe we say, instead of our customers having to come to us, we'll bring the movies to them. Or maybe back in the late 90s, we saw the internet could progress so fast that maybe we could just watch the movies at home. Or maybe it's bigger than just movies. We say we want to change the whole entertainment industry. We want to change how people watch sports, how they listen to music, along with how they watch movies. It's much bigger than just movies. Can you see where those concepts may fall on the innovation wheel? Just opening up a store is reactive. Streaming it at home would be transformative at the time. What this helps us do is looking at different levels of innovation and really understanding through the eyes of our customers how we could create new ideas and concepts that never existed before. This process is going to be unique for every industry, for every product, and every market that there may exist. But my point is this is a process, and innovation is actionable, and it could be a lot less risky. So in closing, I want to share a quote with you that I heard when I graduated from UC. The dean at the College of Design, Architecture, Art, and Planning shared this with us. He said, "Vision without action is daydreaming. Action without vision is a waste of time. Vision with action can really change the world." So my question to you is, what opportunities do you see? What problems are you willing to go solve? And what can you bring to the market? You know, the reason I'm here is I don't want you to wake up one day like Blockbuster did and say, what just happened? Let's move beyond reactive. Let's think beyond incremental. Let's move toward transformative. And let's be bold and let's pioneer the future. Thanks so much.